So my name is Caitlin Reichman. I go to Julesburg High School, and I went on the Washington, D.C. youth tour. I would like the Highline membership to know that it was very educational. It was very informative, and it was just an awesome place to go and meet people. And I'm so thankful that I went on this trip. My favorite place that we visited was probably the Capitol. It was really nice to see where like the Senate and the House like meet and go over stuff and all of the other bits and pieces of our nation that kind of happen there. Being able to go and talk to people from like other states that I've never seen before and being able to have a meaningful conversation with them and talk about things that matter like our electricity and just talk to people that I know I will probably never see again, but just to have that like skill of being able to go up and converse with people. One thing that I learned about co-ops was that almost every state in the United States is powered by co-ops. There's just the two states that aren't. Almost the whole nation is powered by co-ops. I would recommend this trip to other students because one, you get to see all of the beautiful places in Washington, D.C. and learn about not only the capital, but kind of what happens all over the nation. And you get to meet a bunch of people that are not only the same, but they're also different in many ways. And you get to learn and build with each other and teamwork. And it's just a lot. It's hard to describe. It's an amazing opportunity.
Hi, my name is Aubrey Poe. I am homeschooled, but I live near Sterling. I attended the DC Youth Leadership Tour. It's hard to choose just one. I was definitely, before the trip, most looking forward to Mount Vernon, and I have to say, it was definitely one of my favorite places. It's so beautiful there. Probably that it's okay to get out of your comfort zone and meet new people because there's so many interesting people out there and the relationships you can build. Like I amazed myself with the friends I made. Um, Kind of how they do specific things for the people within their co-op. They're more um, they work with the people directly. It's more personal than bigger companies. I think it's just a great all around opportunity. I mean, like the friends I made, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, but the places you get to see. This trip was so packed full of so much history that you really couldn't see that much if you just went there by yourself. Like it was a push to see all of the cool things that DC has to offer. For people who want to go on this trip or thinking about it, just apply, put yourself out there, and if you do happen to get it, just don't be afraid to make new connections. I mean, I met a lot of interesting people that came from different backgrounds than I do personally, and we still could connect because I mean we're both just kids, you know what I mean? And so I learned a lot of cool things about people, and I made a lot of cool friends.
Okay, I'm Emery Blockowitz. I go to Revere High School and I attended the CYLC camp in Steamboat Springs. My favorite camp activity would be when we went on the rafting trip, and why was because it was all sorts of fun and it was something that we could do to all bond together. And the people that we bonded with over the week, we got to kind of connect more and even meet some other people that got on our rafts that we haven't exactly bonded with yet. What I gained most from leadership camp would be the I didn't realize that you could connect with people over a span of 1 week. And I went to camp the first day not knowing anybody there and was nervous and everything. And by the end of it, I had all sorts of new friends from all over. And it it made me like realize that there's more people out there than just in a small town, and you can really find those people that you can connect with most. One thing I learned about co-ops that was interesting would be how many there are. I always have known that Highline was here in COVID, and everything, but I didn't realize how many there were, and like all the help that they actually help us do, and they do a lot more than what everybody thinks. I would recommend this trip to other students because I believe that it is really a way to learn leadership skills and to, I get nervous to go meet new people, and I really feel like this was a way to do that, but everybody was in the same boat there. Like, no, not many people knew very many of the other kids there, and it's just a way to kind of put yourself out there and meet new people and from all over. There was people from a bunch of different states and people that were closer. So, and we always we got each other on different social media platforms. That way we can stay connected and maybe meet up again. So, what I would like Highline members to know about this trip would be I would suggest that they continue to do it because it really helped me get out there. This was my second year doing it, and I was more than happy to go back twice. And I really think that it's a good way to teach kids not only about leadership but about co-ops and all the different tasks that they have to do.
Okay, my name is Leah Struckmeyer. I'm from Holyoke High School, and I just attended the Highline CYLC camp. My favorite camp activity was the whitewater rafting. It was just fun to get out on the river and be with friends and just make some memories. The biggest takeaway for me was kind of the leadership part of it, obviously, but then also the friendship and I feel like I reached out to a lot more people and talked to them than I would have maybe normally. I feel like I kind of was more outgoing than I maybe would have been before this camp. One thing about co-ops that I found interesting was just how they function and that everyone buys into them. And I kind of knew that part, but just kind of getting to see how it worked in real time and being a part of a cooperative and seeing what that actually means. I would recommend this trip to other students just because you learn a lot from it. There's a lot of good takeaways from it, but also just the friendships you make and the memories you make. That you're going to meet people who are a lot different from you and come from a lot different places, and just finding those things in common with those people and making those friends. I would like the Highline membership to know that I feel very blessed that I got to experience this and that it's a great opportunity, and that I'm just very thankful they picked me and paid everything that I could attend this trip and make these memories and learn these new skills.
Thank you, Highline and members, for this amazing opportunity. I am so thankful for being picked for this, hoping that you guys continue.
Well, a little message from me. Thank you. Thank you for letting me go. That was an amazing opportunity. I learned so much about myself and others and the co-ops.
Yes, thank you to Highline for sending me on this trip. It was an amazing experience. I learned a lot, and I would recommend it to pretty much anyone.
I would like to thank all of the Highline members and people that made it possible for me to go on the CYLC trip. It was a fun thing to do in the summer, and it really made me get out of my comfort zone and meet new people.
Farmers, we're pretty resilient. We like to do a lot of things ourselves, so it's real tempting to do your electrical work yourself. Irrigation's a whole nother problem right there. It's real easy for an irrigation system to become energized and you not know it.
Irrigation systems are typically very large and they're somewhat mobile. And what that does is, because it's very large, obviously to put it together, it's a lot of really, really long pipe. And so trying to transport this pipe, install this pipe can be a hazardous task because you obviously have to move this really long pipe around the field, and you want to make sure that it's not getting into the power lines, of course. Being very aware of how big the piece you're moving and trying to maintain at least 10 feet from your power lines is really important.
With irrigation, we've got to store some pretty long aluminum pipes, and you want to make sure that you have a good plan about where those are going to be stored. Don't store them underneath your power lines. Even something as simple as your, what we call the secondary voltage, your 120 to 480 going into your homestead, your farm. You bump into that with that, the electricity is going to take the path to the ground. So let's make sure we don't store those pipes anywhere near the electric utility lines to create that hazard, that problem.
I think most electrical systems have codes and requirements for operation, and irrigation systems are very similar, and that there are standards that need to be met to make sure that they will operate the way they're intended and operate safely. And so it's really not something that everyone's well versed on, and so enlisting the help of a professional utility expert and somebody who's has the experience installing irrigation systems is obviously the best choice.
When lightning strikes, what people don't realize is that irrigation system still working. Lightning causes a lot of damage to irrigation systems, so you can blow your ground by lightning and not have it properly grounded.
So common problems include loose connections, improper circuit insulation, and improper motor protection. The worst case scenario would obviously be electrocution. Other alternatives include, severe shocks or burns. So I think it's really important to never try to fix this on your own, right? Call 911, enlist the help of your utility crews, and wait for professional help.
So, in the world of electricity, there are two billing terms that sometimes get confused: energy and demand. Did you know that half your power provider's annual power is based on demand during just 6 hours throughout the entire year? By paying attention to when overall demand is the highest, your power provider has the ability to save its consumers a lot of money. So what is the difference between energy and demand? Well, energy is the total amount of electricity consumed over a certain time period and is measured in kilowatt hours. Demand is measured in kilowatts and represents the rate at which electricity is used. In other words, it's the amount of power required in an instant to satisfy the needs of your connected appliances, lighting, heating, and anything else in your home requiring electricity at the exact same time. To help explain, let's look at an example of how a family's electrical use impacts demand on the system. Now, the Johnsons are a busy family. Mom and Dad both work, and their 3 kids are busy with school and activities. But they start the day like many other families. They each take a shower with hot water. Dad makes coffee. Little sister turns up the heat. Big sister switches on the hairdryer. Mom starts the dishwasher. And brother throws a bagel in the toaster. Many of the Johnsons' neighbors do the same things at approximately the exact same time. And that's when demand increases on the system, creating a peak. This means power generators have to make more electricity and build bigger transmission lines to meet everyone's needs. More power and bigger equipment equals higher costs. When consumers are able to lower their demand during peak hours, it reduces the cost for everyone. That's because it drops the overall peak or kilowatts your power provider is charged from its power suppliers. Now, there are lots of ways to lower your demand without making huge lifestyle changes. But the most impactful thing you can do is adjust when you run your electric appliances and equipment. Focus on avoiding peak hours, which are from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Now, you can also make sure your home is energy efficient, so you aren't unnecessarily adding to the peak as electricity use rises on the system. By working together with your friends and neighbors, you can spread out your electric provider's peak demand. A lower peak means lower costs for everyone. For more information, contact Highline Electric Association.
As cooperatives, we do more than provide electricity. We're in the schools, at the rodeo, and in your neighborhoods. But what if we can do more? Across the communities we serve together, the average home is over 30 years old, and in the West, our homes take a beating. Snow, wind, hail, scorching heat. There's a clear need for home upgrades throughout our service territory. But there are a lot of barriers, including upfront cost and available contractors. We can remove those barriers. We can help improve your lives using the tools we know best: electricity and energy efficiency. Welcome to the On-Bill Repayment Program. This program removes the upfront cost of efficiency upgrades. As a member, you choose an eligible project, fill out an application, and work with one of our pre-screened contractors. Once the project is done, your repayment becomes a line item on your electric bill. You just handle the on-bill part. It's a win-win for both of us. You're saving money, reducing emissions, and enjoying a more comfortable space, all while your cooperative is reducing peak demand and becoming more efficient. And the program can be coupled with our existing rebate program to save you even more. But don't just take our word for it.
The on-bill repayment program is an exciting rollout for Highline Electric for a couple of reasons. One, it allows our members to invest in their homes. The other thing is a chance to completely upgrade equipment. So to the extent that members have equipment that's older and or failing, it's an opportunity to finance new equipment in their homes. The work being done under this program will be done by local contractors, and so we're investing in those local contractors, we're training those local contractors. It's an exciting time to roll this out and help our members deal with those increased cost pressures they're seeing due to inflation.
An electric appliance can save you money on energy costs. And with heat pump water heaters, ductless or dual fuel ducted heat pumps, you can make a difference in making your home more efficient and more comfortable. The magic happens when those savings offset the monthly repayment, creating a budget-neutral scenario. Programs like these are one of the many benefits of being part of a cooperative. We see a need in our communities, and you now have the opportunity to do something about it. Together, we can electrify and save.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to tonight's annual meeting. First thing I'd like to, in the back is they're doing some babysitting, and then they're having some high voltage demonstrations. So if any of the younger folks would like to check that out. I call this meeting to order. First item of business is the invocation. Pastor Gary Ray will do that for us. Pastor right here. Merlin. You do it, Merlin? Would you want to do the invocation? Sure. We have a. Yeah, we got it. Would you like to do it, sir? Awesome. Nice, thank you. Father Jerry's going to do it.
I can only guarantee you loud. Almighty God, we ask your blessing upon all of the great blessings that we have, the opportunity to use your resources for our good life, for our good friends, for our good families. May we continue to be good stewards of all the gifts you bring, and may we continue to enjoy our work together to bring that energy to our families and to our communities. Amen.
Thank you very much. Next will be the Pledge of Allegiance. If you would stand, please. I pledge allegiance of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm pleased to announce that we have a quorum this evening of 203. We're required to have a quorum of 100 members, so thank you all for coming. Next would be Mr. Lewick, our Vice President. Jim will give some introductions.
Okay, good to see everybody here tonight. Beautiful day. If you'll hold your applause, we're going to introduce the board first, and then we'll get into our other visitors tonight that need introduced. First off, we have Leo Breckel. Leo represents District 1 and has been on the board 30 years. Leo represents Highline on the Tri-State Generation and Transmission Board. He represents Tri-State on the Basin Electric Power Cooperative Board, and his wife Deborah is here tonight. I'm Jim Lewick. I represent District 1, been on the board 31 years. I'm the Vice President of the board, and I represent Highline Electric Association on the Midwest Electric Consumers Board and the Colorado Rural Electric Association Board, and previously served as President of CREA. And my wife Peggy is here tonight. Pam Steeb. Pam represents District 1 and has been on the board for 8 years. Pam's the treasurer of the board. Got Brad Stromberger. Brad represents District 1 and has been on the board for 8 years. We got Mike Bennett. Mike represents District 2 and has been on the board 24 years. Mike's president of the Highline Electric Board, and his wife Susan's here tonight with us. Steve Osman. Steve represents District 2 and has been on the board for 20 years. His wife Lori is keeping him straight. We've got Aaron Sprague. Aaron represents District 2, has been on the board 14 years. Aaron also serves as treasurer on the Republican River Water Conservation District Board, and his wife Amber's here tonight. There she is. Ted Carter. Ted represents District 3, has been on the board 18 years. He represents Highline Electric Association on the Western United Electric Board of Directors. And his wife Patty, there she is with him tonight. David Carlson. David represents District 3 and has been on the board 3 years. Got Lisa Schilke. Lisa, there you are. Represents District 4 and has been on the board 2 years, and her husband Tim's with her tonight. She got him out of a tractor, so that's good. Merlin Pryor. Merlin represents District 4 and has been on the board 22 years. Merlin is secretary of the board and represents Highline Electric Association on the Nebraska Rural Electric Association board. We have Dennis Herman. Dennis is general manager at Highline and has been at HEA for 32 years. He's been in his current GM role for 6 years. Before taking on the GM role, Dennis worked his way through the ranks, serving as the engineering manager for 12 years, as well as the corporate services and member services manager for 14 years. And his wife, Trudy, is here someplace. Where's she hiding at? There you are. Levi Williamson. Levi is a partner of Williamson, Lowry, Frederick-Gill Law Firm in Sterling, and has been representing Highline Electric Association as our primary counsel for 18 years. Okay, jumping into our other introductions. Our first and most important one we've got here tonight is a young lady by the name of Leah Struckmeyer. Go ahead and stand up wherever you're at, Leah. There you are. Leah was a 2024 Youth Leadership Camp delegate, and you didn't see this one coming at all, did you, kid? Okay, we got Elon Nelson, he's a retiree. Laura Bittner, a retiree. Tom Bennett, President, First Pioneer National Bank. Ron Burgess, Sedgwick County Commissioner. Leonard Walgren, a retiree. Got Terry Hoffmeister, Phillips County Commissioner. Okay. Nancy Burgess, retiree. There you go. Matty Urich, Market President, Bank of Colorado. Tom Tim, Phillips County Commissioner. Oh, okay. Emily Daniel, representing BMO. Carol Bussell, a retiree. Always good to see Carol. Wayne Salyards, retiree. Did you drive, Wayne? Kent Singer, CRE Executive Director. We've got Greg Edel with DOLA. There you are. And his wife Deb's with him tonight. We've got Donna Mint, former Commissioner of Agriculture for the state of Colorado. Greg Brophy, former state senator. Bob Bledsoe, representing YW Electric. There you are. Randy Hale, president of Holyoke Imperial Community Federal Credit Union. Okay. We got Vern Adams, another retiree. Okay, I think we are out of people to introduce, so back to you, Michael. Okay, thank you for everybody coming.
Merlin Pryor, our secretary, will read the notice of the 25th annual meeting.
The annual meeting of the members of Highline Electric Association will be held at the Phillips County Event Center in Holyoke, Colorado at 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, March 25, 2025, to transact the following business. Number 1, the reports of officers, directors, and committees. Number 2, election of directors. Number 3, all other business which may come before the meeting or any adjournment thereof in connection with the election of directors scheduled for this meeting. The following members have been nominated for directors by petition pursuant to the bylaws. For election of 1 director from District 1, who must reside in Logan, Washington, Weld, or Morgan counties in Colorado, Leo Brickle is the incumbent director and nominee. For election of 1 director from District 2, who must reside in Phillips or Yuma counties in Colorado, Steve Osman is the incumbent director and nominee. For election of 1 director from District 3, who must reside in Sedgwick County, Colorado, or Dual County, Nebraska. Ted Carter is the incumbent director and nominee. For election of one director from District 4, who must reside in Chase, Perkins, or Dundee County, Nebraska. Lisa Schulke is the incumbent director and nominee. Also at this time, the unapproved minutes of the 2024 annual meeting are posted on our website, but we need to take action on those minutes. I could read them. I have them if you'd like. I would entertain a motion to not do that, but we need to call for a vote. It's been moved and seconded that we not read the minutes at this time. All those in favor of the minutes as they have been presented, say aye for approval or nay for disapproval. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any disapproval? Minutes are approved. Thank you for your consideration.
Good evening. As you heard from Merlin, there are 4 district vacancies on the board of directors this year and 1 incumbent director nominated for each district. Leo Breckel in District 1, Steve Ostman in District 2, Ted Carter in District 3, and Lisa Schilke in District 4. Because there are no contested elections, it will be appropriate for a voice vote. Do I hear a motion to elect Leo Breckel, Steve Ostman, Ted Carter, and Lisa Schilke to the board of directors in their respective districts? I have a motion to approve the nominees. Is there a second? It has been moved and seconded to elect Leo Breckel, Steve Ostman, Ted Carter, and Lisa Schilke to the board of directors. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those members in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Congratulations to Leo, Steve, Ted, and Lisa, who are elected to the board of directors for another term. I will now turn the, please. And I will now turn the meeting back to President Bennett.
Sorry to disappoint you. You were hoping to get Mike, and you're going to get me instead. Good evening. I would like to welcome you all to Highline Electric's annual meeting. Oh, sorry, I need one more prop here. Would all current and retired Highline employees that are in attendance here tonight please stand? Please join me in thanking these dedicated men and women for their service to your cooperative. I would also like to take a moment to recognize and thank our employees' spouses and families for their patience and understanding. It is greatly appreciated. I want to thank my wife, Trudy, for her continuous support. I'd like to offer a special thanks to the employees that are working here tonight and the staff that coordinated this annual meeting. And I'd like to thank Happy Jack's Barbecue for catering tonight's meal. I will be happy to answer any questions you might have at the conclusion of my report, and ask if you are joining us online that you submit any questions you might have via the chat feature. To begin my manager's report, I'm going to step away and ask that our Chief Financial Officer, Jim Jackson, come forward and present the financial report.
Hello, I'm Jim Jackson. I'm the Chief Financial Officer at Highline Electric Association. Thank you for attending this annual meeting and hope we provide you with information concerning your cooperative that you might find meaningful and helpful. Also, you may notice that some of the amounts I will be presenting will differ from the brochure. This is due to items that were recorded after the brochure was published. I would like to begin by talking about kilowatt hour purchases and sales. The cooperative purchased 512,664,000 kilowatt hours in 2024. The vast majority, 507,515,000 kilowatt hours, was purchased from our power supplier, Tri-State Generation and Transmission. 1,464,000 kilowatt hours was purchased from a project in which electricity is generated from by waste heat. 3.5 million kilowatt hours were generated from Highline Solar Generation Company. The total purchases were an increase of roughly 75 million kilowatt hours compared to 2023. The cooperative sold to you, the members, 482 million kilowatt hours. That's still an increase of 75 million from 2023. Irrigation accounted for the largest share at 48.4% of the total kilowatt hours sold. Industrial followed at 24.6%, residential at 12.9%, large commercial at 9.6%, and small commercial at 5.4%. Operating revenues for 2024 were $57,813,000, which is an increase of around $7.4 million compared to 2023. The increase in revenue is mainly due to increased sales in the irrigation class due to weather being drier than 2023. I would like to note that Highline Electric had $2.5 million in deferred revenue going into year 2024. Because of less than normal weather, forecasted energy rates, and to build distribution equity, we used $1 million of this amount in 2024. We now have $1.5 million in deferred revenues reserved to use in the future to help defray future increased costs. Operating margins were $1,313,000 for year 2024. Operating margins are generated from the sale of electricity to members less the cost of doing business for these sales. As mentioned, we used $1 million in deferred revenue to increase revenue, which helped our operating margins increase to a level that was acceptable to management and to our lenders. As mentioned, Highline's operating margins are generated from the sale of electricity to the members. There are other non-operating margins that Highline receives from cooperatives in which we are members. Tri-State generates Highline's largest investment in cooperatives. Highline's total margins for 2024 were $3.6 million. This is comprised of the Highline's operating margins of $1.3 million, memberships in Tri-State, Western United, CoBank, and CFC totaling $3 million, and $327,000 in interest and other non-operating income. In 2024, the Board of Directors approved a capital credit refund that included 42.34% of outstanding Highline capital credits from year 2007, 51.4% of 2009, 21.86% of the outstanding Tri-State capital credits from year 2002, for a total general retirement of $1.3 million. This slide shows our capital credit allocations and refunds since 1948. We have accrued capital credits of over $115 million. We have refunded to estates $7.6 million, and again, our general refund in 2024 was $1.3 million. Refunds in prior years were $53.6 million, which including last year's retirement totals, $54.9 million returned to our members since 1949. Your member capital credit balance, $53.3 million, of which $14.5 million is comprised of equity in Highline, and $39.1 million represents equity in Tri-State and other cooperatives. We are currently on a 15-year retirement cycle for Highline Electric capital credits, and as Tri-State retires their capital credits to Highline, we in turn return those amounts back to you, the members. For year 2024, the cooperative ended with $3.8 million in cash and investments, a decrease compared to 2023. Likewise, with years 2020 and 2022, with larger cash and investment balances, these were due to loans being drawn while interest rates were favorable during those periods. Highline continues to maintain a strong balance sheet. We ended 2024 with an equity level of 40.8%. Equity measures the extent that you as members have financed and planned, or finance plan in lieu of borrowed capital. The cooperative has 5,171 miles of line, 10,633 meters, which averages a little over 2 meters per mile. The national average of cooperatives is 6 meters per mile of line, and within Colorado, the average is 9 meters per mile of line. Highline's utility plant ended the year valued at $132 million, which is $11.7 million increase over last year. In the last 6 years, we have spent $25 million to maintain or rebuild Highline's electric system to meet your needs. Although we didn't add to our total miles of line in 2024, we did do a lot of maintenance work. We installed or changed out 3,122 poles, 231,760 feet of overhead conductor, 70,898 feet of underground conductor, 53 overhead transformers, and 41 underground transformers. To note, these are just the items that you probably are familiar with and when you see going down the road. We did replace numerous other items such as insulators, anchors, arresters, and other plant items so the energy delivered remains reliable. With the amount and cost of poles, conductors, and meters, and the maintenance work we do across the 11 counties we serve, one of our goals is to provide you, the member, with reliable power. Equipment failures are a portion of the outages, but most predominantly the causes are weather-related. This slide shows the average amount of time for an outage that a member may experience during the period shown. For example, in year 2023, a member, on average, may have experienced outages throughout the year which lasted in total 145.8 minutes, or roughly 2 hours and 45 minutes. As a comparison, for year 2023, the national average was 229 minutes of outages, so we are still below that average. Year 2024 shows that we had an average of 202.2 minutes, which is unfortunately an increase over 2023. The national outage data hasn't been released, so we have no comparison to 2024. But still, a huge thank you to the operations, the engineering, and office crews for keeping the outages to a minimum. The cost to maintain our plant and make sure electricity is available while also reliable, basically the cost of operating Highline was 19% of our total expenses in 2024. Depreciation and interest were another 10% of our cost of depreciation and interest was another 10%. Our cost of wholesale power was 71%. As you can see, what happens at the generation and transmission level with Tri-State has a very large impact on your energy bill. What I would like to show here is the cost increases we have been managing for the last several years. A typical transformer to power a house has increased by 85%. Typical conductor that is used has increased 100%. A typical pole has increased 118% in the last 4 years. Keep in mind, these are just 3 examples, or just a fraction of those thousands of pieces of material and equipment we have been seeing large cost increases. Please keep this information in mind as Dennis will talk further about cost increases and the effect that they are having at Highline Electric. We would like to recognize Highline's safety achievements and efforts by employees to make sure that all go home safely at the end of the work shifts. Your linemen work in a dangerous environment daily, and this level of danger multiplies when working in adverse weather conditions. Your linemen's dedication, along with all Highline employees, to deliver the reliable power and restoring outages is a high priority, but they are also very much aware of safety. And they look out for each other because not only do they want to go home to see their family, they want their coworker to do the same. The last OSHA lost time accident was in 2016. Last year, we were awarded a Safety Achievement Award and Safety Accreditation Award from the National Safety Program, which recognizes our dedication to providing a safe work environment. In closing, I would like to thank you for your time and thank you for being a member of Highline Electric Association. I hope the information provided shows your association is doing very well, is financially stable, and the work we do is bringing you, the member, reliable and affordable power, and doing so safely. Welcome back, Dennis.
Thanks, Jim. I'm going to spend the next few minutes, reporting on a few Highline highlights from the last year. I'll also highlight a few points that Leo covered in his written tri-state report and discuss them from the perspective of their impact on Highline. I'll wrap up with my thoughts on Highline's current financial state and what I see happening with our rates over the next few years. The last year has seen a number of changes at Highline. We now offer loans to our membership for the purpose of implementing energy efficiency improvements through Tri-State's on-bill repayment program. This program provides loan funds for a variety of energy efficiency upgrades, ranging from building envelope improvements to high-efficiency appliances. Loan terms include interest rates as low as 4%, with terms up to 10 years. Loan payments are added to your monthly electric bill. It is the goal of the program that the reduced billing due to energy savings from the improvement more than offsets the loan payment. If you would like more information, you can scan the QR code on the back of the information flyer in your bag. The QR code can also be found on the back of the officer report pamphlet on your table. Recent enhancements to Highline's beneficial electrification and efficiency rebate program include the addition of outdoor power equipment and electric vehicle charger installation rebates. The outdoor power equipment rebates are available for electric mowers, snow blowers, leaf blowers, chainsaws, pruners, trimmers, pressure washers, and bicycles, including a rebate of up to $1,000 for electric riding mowers. Another recent addition is a rebate of up to $375 for a highly efficient heat pump water heater. This rebate can be combined with available tax credits. Highline operational and engineering personnel are on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year to ensure that your power supply is reliable. These dedicated employees maintain our system reliability while maintaining an impressive safety record. As Jim mentioned, our last lost time accident occurred in 2016. Highline operates 29 substations that are used to deliver power throughout our service territory. 2024 saw the completion of substation maintenance and upgrade projects across our service territory, with more coming over the next few years. Cybersecurity remains a top priority at Highline. From monthly employee training to the installation of sophisticated monitoring software across our communication and IT networks. We're in the process of integrating our automated metering system to an outage management system. You will begin to experience this system over the next few months when you interact with Highline during outage situations, including our computer-assisted phone reporting system and your ability to receive a text when you are affected by an outage. We will be working to make sure we have an up-to-date mobile phone number as we move forward with this deployment. This system will allow us to improve how we dispatch linemen to restore power, let us see many outages before receiving member reports, as well as increase our efficiency and ability to handle high volumes of calls during outages affecting many members. 2024 was a challenging year from the perspective of Highline's electric vehicle chargers. The manufacturers, we'll be right back, I'm sure. The manufacturers of our level 2 chargers in Holyoke and our fast charger in Julesburg all dropped support for their chargers during the year. Highline personnel worked hard to integrate with new service providers to provide a seamless charging experience. Highline purchased our first all-electric fleet vehicle at the end of 2002 with the acquisition of a Ford Lightning pickup. The pickup has a rated range of 300 miles, It's here tonight, and we are more than happy to let you kick the tires and get behind the wheel of the Lightning. Call the office in Holyoke and ask for our Member Services Department if you're interested. The passage of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, or IIJA, and the Inflation Reduction Act, or IRA, over the last few years has established a number of new grant programs and tax credits that Highline has applied for that can be used to upgrade our electric system. Highline staff has worked to identify funding streams within the IIJA and IRA and eligible infrastructure projects within our service territory. The National Rural Electric Cooperative Association, or NRECA, is our national organization, and they help to organize cooperatives together across the country to apply for these grant programs. We have joined together with other co-ops through this partnership to submit grant applications to assist with the upgrade of our electric infrastructure, including reclosers, substation upgrades, system operation software, and solar generation projects. While we have been awarded grants through these programs, the funds have been frozen by President Trump's executive orders. We are waiting on the outcome of department reviews at USDA and the Department of Energy to provide insight on whether these programs will move forward. State legislative sessions, particularly in Colorado, generally keep us on high alert. And while 2025 has not been an exception, today brought good news on two fronts. The legislature is currently considering a bill regarding electrician licensure and code compliance. The bill, which was introduced by the independent electrical contractors, sought to move the point of interconnection between Highline and our members. We learned today that the section of the bill that concerned us will be removed. In addition, we learned today that a bill requiring employers to provide protection for workers in extreme temperature environments that had caused us concern will not be moving forward. These are two prime examples of the exemplary work that Colorado Rural Electric Association does for us, and by extension you at the state capitol. The other thing we learned today is that we have seen a first draft of the new clean energy plan from the governor's energy office that we are still evaluating, but calls for a 95% reduction in greenhouse gases by 2035 and a 100% reduction by 2040. More to come on that. I think we all know that the closer we get to that 100% reduction number, the tougher it gets, the harder it gets, and the more expensive it gets. At the end of the last session, Governor Polis appointed a task force to make recommendations to improve Colorado's net metering law. That task force was unable to come to a consensus. As a result, we don't anticipate any new net metering legislation this year. There continue to be a few lingering issues at Tri-State that have the potential to have a large impact on Tri-State and by extension Highline. Two unresolved issues with Tri-State are still being settled in front of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, or FERC, and the courts. When Tri-State came under FERC jurisdiction, they filed a process and a formula to calculate the termination payment that any Tri-State member would have to pay to exit their contract early. All of Tri-State's utility members have all requirements contracts with terms expiring in 2050. The methodology that Tri-State proposed to calculate this termination payment has been heavily contested and litigated at the Commission. The Commission issued their order in December of 2023, and while we have more clarity on contract terminations than we had a year ago, the Commission's order is still being litigated in the courts between Tri-State and a handful of previous and exiting members. At this time, United Power in Brighton and Mountain Parks Electric in Granby have left Tri-State, and La Plata Electric in Durango and Northwest Rural Public Power District in Hay Springs, Nebraska have provided their notice of intent to exit Tri-State. The second Tri-State docket that is pending at FERC that will have a large impact on Highline is the filed rate docket. While Tri-State has filed a rate and it has been accepted by the Commission, several Tri-State members, including Highline, have intervened in the case and are currently attempting to negotiate a settlement. The rate will be set for hearing within the next year if the interveners are unable to come to a settlement agreement. Tri-State convened a committee comprised of one representative from each member to review the terms of the wholesale electric supply contract that governs the relationship between Tri-State and their members in 2023. This committee will hopefully be finishing their work over the next few weeks. The committee has debated several potential changes to the contract, including issues around the self-supply of generation. This discussion covered the ability of members to self-supply and the amount of self-generation allowed from local generation projects, as well as the potential to participate with other tri-state members under a bring your own resource construct. The committee is likely to recommend extending the contract beyond its current 2050 expiration to 2066. I'd like to take just a few minutes to tie together some loose ends and give you an idea of what to expect with our rates over the next few years. Recall from Jim's financial report that Highline's wholesale power cost of power was 71% of our expenses for 2024, coming in just short of $41 million. Any wholesale rate increase is going to have an impact on our retail rates. We have raised rates each of the last 2 years in response to a wholesale increase from Tri-State, and Tri-State is going to continue to experience significant upward rate pressure going forward. Highline worked with rate consultant to perform a cost of service study and rate study in response to Tri-State's rate filing. The cost of service study indicated a need for Highline to increase total revenues by 7% beginning in 2024. In response, we implemented a 3.5% rate increase in 2024 and an additional 3.5% rate increase in 2025. The use of deferred revenue to augment our financials in 2024 allowed us to spread the rate increase over 2 years. In addition to the need for a rate increase, the cost of service highlighted 2 other important facts. First, the rate of return we are earning is not currently uniform across rate classes, with the rate of return being negative for irrigation and single-phase services. Secondly, it was evident that our rates are too heavily weighted on energy charges as opposed to service and demand charges. As a result, the 3.5% increase for 2025 was achieved through a 7% increase for single-phase, non-commercial accounts, and a little more than a 4% increase for irrigation accounts. Within these classes, the increases were in the service and horsepower charges. The net effect is that each account will have a unique rate increase depending on their rate class and their usage characteristics. This is our commitment to our members. It drives what we do as an organization every day. I would like to thank you for joining us this evening and would entertain any questions you may have. And if you're watching online, please submit questions via the chat, and thank you, and entertain any questions. Thank you. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim and Dennis, for your reports. It is my privilege to announce this year's scholarship winners. Based on electric consumers, which Highline is a consumer of Basin Electric's electricity, donated $1,000 for scholarship to Madeline Wilkie. Jordan and Jennifer Wilkie are her parents, and she goes to Otis High School. Highline has 2 renewable scholarships. The first one goes to Leah Struckmeyer, Kip and Summer Struckmeyers, her parents, and she goes to Holyoke High School. The other renewable scholarship that Highline presented was to Navy Smith. Her parents are Greg and Denise Smith, Chase County High School. Highline has several other $1,000 scholarships. The first one goes to Silas Balke, Marcus and Annabelle Balke's daughter from Yuma High School. Another one goes to Addison Oliver, Ryan and Jessica Oliver's daughter, goes to Revere High School. Brooklyn Sutter received another $1,000 scholarship from Highline. Her parents are Daniel and Kristen Sutter of Merino High School. Samuel Meisner received a $1,000 scholarship. His parents are Brian and Kaylee Meisner of Ray High School. Morgan Lambert received a $1,000 scholarship from Highline. Tyson and Heather Lambert are her parents. She goes to Sterling High School. Taylor Thomas received another $1,000 scholarship. Her parents are Tad and Nan Thomas, and she goes to Sterling High School. Owen Glenn receives a $1,000 scholarship from Highline. Curtis and Molly Glenn are his parents, and he goes to Lone Star Undivided High School. Grant Kuntz, whose parents are Justin and Sarah Kuntz, also receives a $1,000 scholarship, and he goes to Lone Star Undivided High School. Sawyer Sigler receives a $1,000 scholarship. Clinton and Stephanie Walter are his parents, and he goes to Colorado Preparatory Academy. Tri-State and Highline participated in two $500 scholarships. Macy Doherty, Tim and Shanna Doherty's daughter from Sterling High School, received the first one. And Jason Carlson receives a $500 scholarship. His parents are David and Billy Carlson of Revere High School. And that concludes our scholarship winners. We'd like to thank them all for participating and hope they have a very good college career. Next, I'd like to ask if there's any unfinished business. If there's none, does anybody have any comments they'd like to make? Seeing none, we will move on to registration drawing for a $100 bill credit. Thaddeus Hoosier will do that. Here he comes. We need a drawer, right? Who would like to do that little job? There we go. Here comes a willing participant.
Good evening, everyone. All right, as Mike mentioned, we are ready to have some fun and give away some stuff. The first one is the registration drawing. I do want to call out, we appreciate you guys bringing these to us. It really helps us register people. It went really well tonight, so we appreciate it. And I think it's a Myers, Jay Archer, Greg, and I don't know the B in Brophy, but I saw Greg here tonight, so I'm guessing it's Greg. Is he still here? Well, he's going to get a $100 bill credit, and whoever else is a partner on him with that account. So congratulations to them. And we're moving on. So we need some runners. Our board members, we need some runners. Because we're going to run these prices out to you if they're not too big and heavy. I have the clicker now. Okay. So we should have the descriptions of the drawings here in the next slides. Okay, MC Hardware donated a Master's Mechanic tool set. And that's going to go to Aaron L. Michael. Aaron Michael, raise your hand. Mike? Keep that hand up, Aaron. Keep that hand up, buddy. All right, Aaron's got that one. Next, we got an Echo Dot, an Amazon Smart Plug, and a gift card donated by PCS and Custom Business Solutions. That'll go to Idalee Juarez. Idalee Juarez. Next up, we have an auto cleaning gift basket and a $50 MasterCard donated by Bonanza Ford, Western United Electric Supply Corporation. That one will go to whoever is here for Bledsoe Land Company. Is that a bunch of you? Back here. Do you see her, Jim? Next up, we've got a backpack. It includes an insulated tumbler, a fleece quarter zip jacket, and hat donated by Specialty Incentives. And that'll go to Calvin Beal, B-E-A-L, Calvin Beal. Next up, we've got a dry bag that has a blanket, insulated bottle, rechargeable lantern, and flashlight donated by Logo Store. And that'll go to Dan Ortner. Dan Ortner. Next, we've got a swag bag with some Carhartt sweatshirt, socks, and a beanie, and a gift card donated by Amaral, who's the uniform company in Western United. And that'll go to Delia Tolentino. Delia, back there, Steve. Okay. Another swag bag and $25 MasterCard for Amaral and Western United will go to Dolores Walker. Dolores Walker. We got a $50 Visa gift card and 2 cans of glass cleaner donated by Bank of Colorado in Holyoke and Novus Auto Glass. And that'll go to Don Jacobs. Don Jacobs, all the way in the back. We've got a few of these. A gift card and 2 cans of glass cleaner, again, going to Donald Ament. Don Ament. That was an easy one, Ted. Another $50 gift card and glass cleaner, again from Bacon, Colorado and Novus, goes to Donald Larson. Is that Donald Larson right there in the red? Okay. Another gift card and cans of glass cleaner goes to Earl and Patricia Sutter. And another gift card and glass cleaner goes to Greg Edel. Greg Edel. Merlin got another good one. 8 more. All right, this one we've got a Home Depot gift card and 2 cans of glass cleaner. And Trust gave us the gift card, and Novus with the glass cleaner goes to Harry Hernandez. Harry. And this is a really cool one. It looks like it's heavy, but it's not. 32-quart ultralight cooler from IES Industrial will go to James and Marcita Lapp. Keep that hand up, James. Keep it up. Do you see him back there? Okay. Thanks, Lisa. We got a $50 MasterCard and a duffel bag from Western United and Altitude Energy, and that'll go to Judy Stover. Judy Stover. You see her? We got some Sony earbuds and a $25 Amazon gift card donated by Castle Rock Microwave and Custom Business Solutions. That'll go to Larry and Donna Clippert, all the way in the back. $100 Amazon gift card, oh boy, from Pole Position. They're a pole supplier. That'll go to Lee Struckmeyer. Lee Struckmeyer. You see him? We got a drawstring bag, 4 hats, a couple stainless steel coffee cups, and a $50 Lowe's gift card from Sunbelt Solomon. And that'll go to Leland Seeger. Leland Seeger. Right here. Keep that hand up, Leland. All right, the next two are these big screen TVs, so we're not going to walk them out to you. The next 2 winners, we're going to want you to come up here and get some pictures and stuff. So, but I'll get to the next one. The first one that's going to go, I believe, is the Samsung, and that was donated by Ward Electric, and that'll go to Leslie J. Peterson. So, again, Leslie, if you're here, is he here? Is she here? He? Okay, we're here. Good. Come up here at the end here. We'll get to that. And now we're going to give away the Vizio. Also another 65-inch flat screen. And that was donated by our friends at Tri-State Generation and Transmission. And that one will go to Lauren Hendricks. Is Lauren here? Lauren is here. Okay, great. So we got those. So that's it for the door prizes. We are going to try and give away the $2,500 cash prize. Again, if this person's here, we want to get a picture with that person. And this is a drawing from the entire membership. All right, so I should hit this button and it should give us a name. Is there a Bradley Young? No Bradley Young? Okay, we're gonna do something a little different. We want to give away some money, so we're gonna try and draw here from whoever's here, and we're gonna do a $500 cash drawing. And I believe, do I hit the next one? All right. So the next drawing will be Lauren Jessen, Jessen. Is Lauren Jessen here? Gave it away. We gave it away, $500. And we'll get a picture with that gentleman as well. And that's all I have for you. Thanks for coming out. And I believe we could do an adjournment here with our president to close out the night.
Thank you very much, Tad, and thank you all for coming again this evening. If there's no more business before this meeting is adjourned.